Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Detroit SCCA Sim Series, bridging the gap between virtual and track racing. We're at the virtual Road America, Wisconsin for the season finale. As always, I'm your host, James East, with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, bringing the action 1080p 60 frames a second. As it looks like drivers are getting ready to start things off here tonight, let's go ahead and run through the grid here tonight. On pole, Elliot Budzinski, the number 91 machine. Noah Aller starting second. Russell Soto starting third. Ryan Carwile starts fourth. Sean Fritz starting fifth. Ari Ritter starting sixth. We've got Mike Knutson starting seventh. Trent McMillian starting eighth. Matthew Malone starting ninth. Chad Geidel starting 10th. Jason Williams starts 11th. Richard Scheibe starting 12th. And let's see, let's cycle it back. Yeah, we've got a healthy grid here tonight. Stephen Kahn starting 13th. Logan McDonough starting 14th on the grid. You've got Jay Lasco starting 15th. Andrew Gross starting 16th. Michael Schmidt starts 17th on the grid here today. Theo Gorey starting 18th. David Grzinski starting 19th. Dominic Bates starts 20th. Jeffrey Novak starting 21st. Nathan Crosty starting 22nd. Michael Rodriguez starts 23rd. You've also got, let's cycle it back, Jonathan Edwards starts 24th. And then Alejandro De La Torre starting 25th to round out the grid here today. So we're going to have a long pacing lap here at the Road America Raceway. Excuse me, it was Ari Ryder. I just checked my notes here. So Ryder is going to be starting up there in that 6th place spot in the number 27 machine. And while we're here under iPacing, I want to give a shout out to the Detroit Region Sports Car Club of America, aka DRSCCA. They've been providing motorsports events since 1948. With over 1,400 members, there's no shortage of knowledge, history, and trailblazing ideas like this sim series that you can join for free every Tuesday night. Thank you to our fans and spectators tuning in, supporting the show, as well as supporting the drivers and the DRSCCA. Also want to give a shout out as well, our sponsors, Waterford Hills Road Racing, Metro Detroit's only permanent sanctioned road course. Located in Clarkston, Michigan, they host 6 weekend race series, competition driving school, and 9 public track days throughout the year. Track is hot from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on event days and open to the public for a whopping $5. So cheaper than a cup of coffee. You can get in on the action and check it out. WaterfordHills.com for all the details. Also got to give a quick shout out to the Michigan Turn Marshals for their support this season as well. If you want to get close to the action, be sure to check out MichiganTurnMarshals.org. They can train you to support races anywhere from the Detroit Grand Prix or the local races you can find at Waterford Hills. New sponsors coming into Season 2. Next season, we got Superlap. Located in the world-renowned Woodward Avenue, Berkeley, Michigan, Superlap is a sim drive studio, a space to meet and compete. With professional-grade racing simulators, they are premier racing and driver experience venue. They help you achieve motorsports goals with education, practice, and training. Maybe you're familiar with the world's most famous international Formula One series? Well, their best driver is a proponent of sim training and racing. If Max Verstappen uses a sim, shouldn't you? You can race and practice against an AI roster, go head-to-head with other humans or both. They also offer league play like the DRSCCA League. Check them out, superlap.world for all the details. As we head up the hill here at Road America, the iRacing safety car is going to come down pit road, and we will fire them up for the final time this season. And we are green flag racing here. Brzezinski holds up front. Ryan Carwile has already moved up to third. The bump drafting in effect. He's going to be pushing Nolan Aller, the number 9 machine. You can see Barney, our flagman, waving on behind. Let's see, does the field get through turn 1 nice and clean here? Looks like things are going to go well for the top 5. Checking in on Jason Williams, that number 5 machine, not having too many issues as well. I see somebody taking a peek up front. Is that Carwile? No, it's going to be Russell Soto trying to work the inside line, the number 50 machine. Carwile goes a little bit wide there, able to stay on the surface. Now it is a 30-minute feature event here tonight. As Bazinski holding on to the race lead. Aller in second, Soto in third, so not much has changed in the top 5, but it's going to be a little bit of gambling under brakes here. Soto grabs a spot. Carwile in the 71 gains a position as well. Let's see, that's Ari Ritter in the number 27. Right here, the meat grinder, Andrew Gross is going to have an off-track excursion there. And can't quite find him, so I think Gross might have taken a tow down pit road. And yeah, we get the report. I think Gross may have retired early in that 69 machine. So Bazinski still leads the field up front. But let's go back to Jay Lasko running 13th. He's got a spattering of drivers right behind him. That's Richard Scheibe, Michael Schmidt, Logan McDonough. All right there in tow. Now our broadcast software is lighting up a little bit with off tracks through the high-speed kink. Bazinski's going to hold on to the race lead here. But Soto in very hot pursuit in that number 50 machine. The drafting battles we're going to have here at Road America, I've got to say, they're going to be super fun for the drivers. As that was Trent McMillian gaining a spot against Matthew Malone. We have another incident reported. It's going to be Theo Gorey takes a tow back to pit road rather quickly. So already losing a spattering of drivers. Here we go, the battle for the lead. Soto versus Bazinski. Soto with the fastest lap of the race. These two have built up a 1-second gap over Ryan Carwile in third. Soto in the red, white, and blue number 50. Bazinski in the cow livery number 91 machine. Soto's still hunting for an opening here against Bazinski. Now I'm curious to see if these two start battling, if that's going to slow down the pace, because you've got guys like Ari Ritter, Sean Fritz, Nolan Aller, Mike Knudsen still inside the top 10 who have a good shot at getting up here by the end of this thing. Now no scheduled pit stops for these racers tonight. It's going to be a bit of a sprint race. Soto has taken over the race lead under braking. But here comes Bazinski, going to push that number 50 machine a little bit wide, and everybody's scattering behind. So everybody's trying to jockey for position here at Road America, and it seems like under braking has been the big opportunity to try and make those passes. Soto and Bazinski are here to put on a show. Bazinski takes back over the race lead, gaining about 0.2 over Soto. And we talked about it early on, but we were spot on the money. Ryan Carwile has rejoined the top 2 drivers with Noah Aller and Sean Fritz right in tow as well. So every time Bazinski and Soto going side by side, slows down the pace and punches a big hole in the air. And really cool to see all the side by side action. That was Trent McMillian grabbing a spot back from Mike Knudsen, moving up into the 7th place position. Soto and Bazinski still side by side. Ryan Carwile just kind of tucked in behind that number 71 machine. Nolan Aller also has a great view as well. Everybody trying to hop out, see if they can find an opportunity here. As it looks like that is going to be Aller moving back up into P3, edging out Carwile just slightly in the 71. That's going to give it about a half-second advantage to the top 2 drivers. And it's going to be a game of high-speed snake up the hill here at Road America. Soto hops out of the draft behind Bazinski. Bazinski's going to guard the inside line to turn 1. And you can see the massive breakaway the top 6 drivers have on the rest of the field. That's going to be Matthew Malone back in 7th. He's got McMillian, Geidel, Williams, Scheibe, Schmidt, McDonough all behind him. As Bazinski fighting to hold on to the lead. And now Nolan Aller is going to take a peek to the inside line of Soto. to see if he can make his way up into second. There's contact between the two. Soto never lifts there, but now Soto's going to be side by side with Carwile. Only 5 laps in, and we're beating and banging here in these spec forward racers. Basinski holds on to it down the hill. Aller in second. Soto has fought back up into third. Saw briefly the off-track lights were firing up. That was going to be for Michael Schmidt, the 129 machine. Let's check in on Scheibe, the number 79 machine. Wasn't able to join us for the race prior. Still hanging out with the broadcast, though, so good to see the 79 back out on track here tonight. Your race leader, Budzinski, has built up about a half second over Russell Soto. And let's also check in on Sean Fritz. Fritz was tracking down Ritter there, trying to work his way into the top 5, at least trying to get back in the draft behind that number 27 machine. And you can see he is flinging the back end of that number 19 machine all around, trying to carry as much corner speed as he can find. McMillian and Malone going to go side by side here as Chad Geidel watches on the 42. Also right into that's Jason Williams, Richard Scheibe. So tight racing everywhere we point the cameras here tonight. Up front, Basinski hold on to the race lead. As what is going on there? And we go 3 wide here at Road America for the lead. That's Soto, Aller, Basinski. 3 wide again. That has allowed Ryan Carwile, Ari Ritter to catch up right behind. Absolute dogfight out on track, and we've got a crash reported. Matthew Malone and Trent McMillian involved in some sort of incident. Let's take a look and see what happened there. We got the replay queued up. Let's see what happened to McMillian and Malone here. McMillian, the number 13, gets a hearty shove from Malone, and they both go off track as the rest of the field scatters. Now, thankfully, it looks like both drivers are going to wait for a safe spot to rejoin the surface, get back out on track, but man, I don't think McMillian ever saw that one coming. Back up front, your race leaders still side by side. That is Soto and Basinski. Not willing to yield at all here tonight. As Basinski pushes Soto a little bit wide, you can see Ryan Carwile gets loose as well. That's going to allow Noah Aller to take advantage. He's going to get around Ritter in that number 27 machine. And still 5 drivers in this lead pack trying to get it sorted out. Now we have that, look at that, 2 wide and 3 rows deep from 7th back. You got McDonough, Geidel, Knutson, Scheibe, Jay Lasko, Jason Williams all here in the fray. Oh, and that's going to be short-lived. Mike Knutson. And let's see, that's going to be Scheibe and Chad Geidel all tied up in that one. Oh, easy with the rejoin there for the number 79 machine of Scheibe, thankfully getting across that track. But man, these guys are put on a show, and look at the damage on Mike Knutson's 383 machine. The front end just completely tore off of that car. I would not be surprised to see Knutson come down pit road here and maybe try and get something fixed on that machine. Surely he's going to be missing a whole lot of front end aero. Now it looks like Ari Ritter has lifted just a little bit behind the other top 5 drivers. Ritter sitting in 5th, while everybody ahead of him running nose to tail. And drivers trying to figure out who they're going to partner up here with the draft as we go 2 rows wide. And the drivers are 2 deep here. Carwile briefly shown as the race leader. Budzinski's going to have the inside line. He's got Soto in tow. Here comes Carwile trying to take the long way around. Soto slides up the inside. Not quite able to grab second place there, but really hunting for it. I've got to say, this is probably some of the best racing I've called in quite a while. Normally, Road America, things get very spread out, and you don't get to see such good racecraft. So glad these guys are putting on a great show here tonight. Carwile again hunts and takes it over using the draft. Budzinski's going to fire back up the inside line. Carwile gets pushed a little bit wide. That's going to allow Soto, who's looking for a spot, not able to find it. Barely avoids going off the grass. Here comes Soto up the inside. That's going to set Budzinski up for the next right-hander, though. So who's going to lift first, as there's more contact between Aller and Carwile battling for the third place spot. And it also looks like Sean Fritz, the 19 machine, starting to very slowly close up to these top 5 drivers. And every time we see the 2-3 wide action, that is going to give that number 19 machine more opportunity to get right back up there into the mix. We go on board with Ryan Carwile's 71 machine. And I would predict this is going to be a great view as Soto and Budzinski side by side ahead. There's the number 9 of Nolan Aller. Oh, Soto way off track. That's going to give the lead back to Budzinski. Soto still second, with Carwile sitting in third. Aller and Ritter rounding out the top 5. And I've got to tell you, if it looks fun out on track, it is just as much, if not more fun, to be out driving with these guys. Again, the DRSCCA iRacing Series free to join. And they're also firing up a Thursday night series as well next season, running every Thursday and Tuesday. Budzinski and Soto continue the side-by-side shenanigans here. We go on board with Ari Ritter. The red, white, and blue number 27 machine. He's been hanging out here back in 5th. Wonder if he's kind of measuring up these other drivers and see what's happening. And there we go, the bump draft in effect, giving a push to Aller. Everybody picks a line, dives in deep under the brakes. And everybody through nice and clean. Ritter just didn't quite have the drive out of the corner as the other top 5 drivers. And there is Sean Fritz sitting in 6th, tantalizingly close to a top 5. Very impressed with how great the racecraft is amongst these drivers. A lot of fun to watch. As it looks like Budzinski has built up a little bit of breathing room, but look at the back of Budzinski. Looks like maybe it's just the livery on the 91 machine. Looked like he had a little bit of body work damage. We've seen that in races past, especially VIR, where drivers were actually damaging the bodywork with how aggressive the bump drafting was. I think that might just be the livery there. As Budzinski and Carwile have a little bit of a breakaway, they built up a half second over Nolan Aller, the number 9 machine. The top 5 slightly spread out here. Now, is Carwile going to be happy running second behind Budzinski? It seems like he is, as he is continuing to bump draft that number 91 machine further ahead, trying to keep Aller, Soto, Ritter at bay. So Carlisle opts to stay tucked in, but Aller and Soto gain a little bit of ground there after the start-finish line straight. Now this is the season finale. This is where championships will be crowned here at the DRSCCA. And oh no, a big mistake for Sean Fritz. We saw out of the corner of our eye, way off track. He was doing such a good job, but man, he was on the ragged edge trying to catch up to these top five, and unfortunately just ran out of asphalt real estate. The top five separated by less than a half second, blasting down the hill. It's going to be Budzinski, Carlisle, Soto, 1, 2, 3. Aller and Ritter still in the top five here. Now, as we are past the halfway mark, I also want to give a shout out to one of our new sponsors, the Whitland Group. Your first choice for all your labeling needs. Whitlam Group provides a variety of labeling solutions, including packaging, promotional, engineering, brand security, print on demand, and custom solutions. Located in Centerline, Michigan, Whitlam has a heart as big as their labeling options. They give back to their community by supporting the Children's Hospital of Michigan, Adopt a Child Project, Sweet Dreams Projects, COTS Detroit, Animal Welfare Society, and much more. So check them out. Visit our friends Whitlam.com for the full details. Great guys on and off the track. And still the bump drafting continues between Budzinski and Carlisle. But it doesn't look like they're building up too much distance between Soto and Aller. Now, Ari Ritter has fallen off the gap here in the number 27 machine. Yeah, Ritter now 1.6 seconds back from the top four. So he's going to be hoping the drivers in front of him start duking it out a little bit. Now we had another race report. Matthew Malone has passed Jay Lasko for the 12th place position. And as we cross the start-finish line, it's Soto, the fastest lap of the race, a 2:29.106. Oh, Carlisle gets into the back of Budzinski through turn one. Budzinski was able to hold on to it, thankfully. Not often you see the old bump and run happen on a road course, especially in a spec Ford machine, but these guys are absolutely going at it. So that time by, Soto was a full 3/10 faster than everybody in front of him, really utilizing the draft. But now Budzinski and Carlisle have built up a 9/10 advantage. There you can see Soto and Aller side by side. And we've got another battle happening out on track. Trenton McMillian sitting in that top 10 spot. He's got Matthew Malone and Jay Lasko closing up behind him. You can see Malone giving a big hearty shove there to McMillian. But here comes Jay Lasko, making it a 2-for-1. And not too far ahead of them, about 7.5 seconds. That's Jason Williams, Michael Schmidt. Williams, the number 5 machine. Schmidt, the 129. Just rocking and rolling here. But your top two, Budzinski and Carlisle, have built up a very healthy 1.3 second gap over Mr. Russell Soto, who's holding on to that final podium spot. We've got just over 10 minutes left to go in this season finale. And let's go back. Lasko still has McMillian right in tow, as well as Malone. Lasko's up 5 spots. McMillian and Malone, they're both down 3 positions. Hard charger of the night so far is Michael Schmidt, the 129. He has gained 8 positions so far. And we got a report from pit wall that turn 1 was going to get exciting once more. Now it seems that Carlisle does not want to try and pass Budzinski just quite yet. As we saw Soto with an off-track excursion through turn 1, that's going to give Ritter a chance to get back into the hunt. I want to check back in on Jay Lasko sitting in 10th as he leads 11th and 12th place into turn 1. This has been a big passing opportunity for the drivers. It looks like they're going to stay single file here, maybe working together to try and get a little bit further up in the standings. There's Ritter closing the gap in the number 27 machine. And everywhere we look is side-by-side action. Lasko has dialed in the slingshot here, passing McMillian back for the 10th place spot. You see the back end stepping out a little bit. That is the tires starting to fall off for these drivers. And you can definitely tell that the cars are a little bit more loose, a little bit more free as the run progresses. And I just saw back there as well, that was Scheibe and Bates battling for 13th. So it doesn't matter if it's for 1st or 15th. We've got great action all across the massive road course here at Wisconsin Road America. 8 minutes left to go. It's still Budzinski, Carlisle, Soto, 1, 2, 3. Aller and Ritter round out the top 5. Now McMillian's tucked in behind Lasko here. Is he going to try and return the favor with the slingshot? You can see Malone's fallen off just a little bit, 4/10 back from this battle for 10th. Scheibe, an off-track excursion, is going to lose a spot to Bates in the 22 machine. Now that is one thing about these spec Ford racers. If you find yourself with a mistake, it can take a little while to get that momentum built back up. And you do not want to lose the draft here, Road America. Speaking of draft, there's actually, there we go, 2 cars in frame. Williams and Schmidt, nose to tail. Schmidt is our hard charger, up 8 spots, looking to make it 9. And it looks like we have a very heated battle for that final podium spot still underway. Oh, who is that looping it out? That was Ritter, the number 27 machine. Has a big bobble. He's going to fall outside the top 5. There goes Sean Fritz. We were watching that battle between Aller and Soto, who are really leaning on each other there, charging up the hill. It looks like a tiny bit of damage in the front of the number 9 machine, possibly from the bump drafting we've seen so far this evening. Aller leads Soto through the carousel. Budzinski has built up an 8/10 advantage over Ryan Carlisle. So Carlisle, I wonder if the tires are starting to fall off on that number 71 machine. Soto trying to get back up into 3rd. He's got about 5.5 minutes left to try and make something happen. It might be getting a gift there as Aller goes off track and the number 9 dipping a couple tires. And yeah, you can definitely see the damage on the front right of Aller and that number 9 holding on to 3rd. I wonder if that's going to affect his straight line speed and put Soto into a good spot. Now Budzinski, your race leader, has built up over a 1-second advantage. So let's see, can Soto make something happen here with the draft? Or does he even want to? Maybe knowing that Aller not quite has the pace, trying to set himself up for a last lap pass. There goes Soto, the number 50 machine. So Soto will pull up into third and hold on to it here. Jason Williams, Michael Schmidt still linked up nose to tail, crossing the start-finish line. Very cool livery on that number 5 machine. Scheibe, unfortunately, is going to come down pit road, the number 79. And I believe he put... Is he going to get back out on track? No, Scheibe has retired that machine, so he is done and out of this one. Unfortunate way to end the season. Here's the 3-car battle for 10th. These guys have not had a chance of a break. It's Lasco, McMillian, Malone. Up front, it's still Budzinski, Carwile, and Soto, but Soto has heavy pressure from Aller in that number 9. Average lap time about 2.5 minutes. So, oh my goodness, somebody locked up there. I think that was the 13 machine. McMillian came in a little bit hot, got into the side of Lasco. And Matthew Malone sitting there watching the number 7 saying, I'm just glad that wasn't me involved in that one. Drivers on the absolute limits here, doing everything they can to try and grab a couple of hundredths advantage over their competition. And a large portion of these drivers have some sort of damage. I think that was Lasco, the front right. Looks a little bit off camber there. Can't quite tell if that's a visual ploy from the bodywork being beat up. The Malone tucked in behind him. Yeah, I don't think that front right looks correct for Lasco. What is this? Russell Soto's down pit road. So Aller's going to move up into the top 3. As I believe this is going to be the white flag for these drivers. Not sure what's happening. David Grzinski's also taking a tow back to pit road, so that's going to put... David Grzinski takes that tow, so that's going to put Budzinski, Carwile, Aller, Fritz, and Ritter now your top 5. What happened to Russell Soto? We didn't see any incident reported out on track. Soto back out onto the racing surface as Williams and Schmidt roll by. Trent McMillian also shows coming down pit road. I'm not sure if drivers are getting drive-through penalties or what's going on. I think it must have been a drive-through for Soto. We did not see him actually go into his pit stall. So I think the off-track's starting to add up for these drivers. Here we go, Schmidt versus Williams. Soto dipping a couple of tires in the grass to help that machine rotate. Pulls up alongside Williams under the bridge. Soto fights back for 8th. I think Schmidt's going to be happy for this opportunity to try and break up things between himself and Williams for a little bit. And right behind them, that's Gross and Lasco. Now, I think it's going to be close to see if Budzinski takes the checkered here. We pan back to the race leader, the Cal Spotted 91 machine. Got about 0.2 of a lap left. Will he cross the line and have to go for a bonus lap, or is this going to be it for the 91? Gary Ritter way off track. Sean Fritz makes his way around. And let's see, it's panned back to Budzinski. Oh, this is going to be very close. I think the checkered's going to be out here. Yep, the checkered flag is out. The season finale. Elliot Budzinski picks up another win and the Cal spot at 91. Let's check in. Ryan Carwile holds on to second. And Nolan Aller will squeeze into that final podium spot. Let's go back to Andrew Gross and Jay Lasco. They're battling here for 11th. So we'll fall a little bit short of the top 10. But hey, these racers come to race each and every week. Gross running the trademarked student driver back 69 machine. Is he going to try and set up a draft pass here at the end? Looks like he's going to be just out of striking distance, I think. A little bit shy of 4/10 behind. Yeah, he's just going to run out of track. I don't think he's going to be able to close it. Gains a lot of ground here. But well done to Lasco, holding on to that 11th place spot as well. Great racing all across the board here at Road America. And as we queue up the unofficial results, it's going to be Elliot Budzinski in the top spot. Ryan Carwile finishing second, and Nolan Aller will round out the top three. And while I have it up here, do a little bit of pencil or a napkin math up here in the broadcast booth. It looks like that is going to secure the championship for Elliot Budzinski. Ryan Carwile will finish second in the points. And with his performance tonight, Ari Ritter will hold on to a top three. So what a great season for these Detroit SCCA Sim Series drivers. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much for spending your night with us. Thank you for supporting the sponsors as well for this series. Of course, our friends over at DRSCCA.org, the guys over at Waterford Hills Racing. You can check them out, waterfordhills.com. The Michigan Turn Marshals for their support this season. Superlap coming on board next season, superlap.world, as well as the Whitlam Group coming on board as well, whitlam.com. My name has been James East. Thank you all so much for spending your season with us every Tuesday night. We'll be back March 19th live with Season 2, Round 1. Have a great night, everybody.